They found the body before sunrise. No blood, no sign of a struggle, just a man posed too carefully to be accidental. Whoever did this wanted him discovered. The detective stood over the scene longer than anyone else. Not because he didn't know what to do, but because he already knew how this would end. This wasn't his first murder. It wouldn't be his last. And the terrifying part was how calm he felt. For decades, this man walked Britain's darkest rooms. He chased killers who left nothing behind but questions. And the closer he got to the truth, the more something inside him began to change. Because the greatest contradiction wasn't the criminals he hunted. It was the man doing the hunting. He solved more murders than almost anyone in British history. Yet some of those cases still wake him up at night. Not because they were unsolved, but because they were solved too late. Early on, he believed in patterns. Every killer makes a mistake. Every crime leaves a fingerprint, even if you can't see it yet. But then came the cases that didn't behave. Victims with no enemies. Scenes with no obvious motive. Murders that felt empty. He learned quickly that murder isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers, sometimes it waits. One case began with a missing person report that almost didn't get filed. An adult, stable job. No history of running. People disappear all the time, he was told. But something felt wrong. The timing, the silence. Days passed, then weeks. When the body was finally found, the damage was already done, evidence degraded, witnesses uncertain, memories blurred. He blamed himself for that one, not officially, but privately. Where blame hurts the most, that was when the obsession crept in. He stopped trusting first impressions, stopped trusting statistics, stopped trusting his own instincts until he rebuilt them from scratch. He began asking questions other detectives avoided. What if the motive isn't money? What if it isn't rage? What if it isn't personal at all? Some killers don't want revenge. They want control. Others don't even want that, they just want to feel something. Each case carved another mark into him. He learned how long grief lasts on a spouse's face, how parents sound when hope finally collapses, how silence in an interview room can be louder than a confession. And then came the case that rewrote everything. The suspect was ordinary. Too ordinary. No record, no drama, no visible cracks. Everyone else dismissed him, but the detective didn't, because the story didn't add up. And when stories don't add up, it's usually because someone is lying or because the truth is stranger than anyone wants to admit. He dug deeper, past routines, past alibis, into habits so small most people would miss them. And that's when he realized something chilling. This wasn't one murder, it was part of a series no one had connected yet. Different cities, different victims, different methods, but the same emotional signature. That revelation split the timeline of his career into. Before, he believed evil was chaotic. After, he understood how methodical it could be. The arrests that followed made headlines. Britain's most prolific murder detective. They called him. A title meant as praise. But titles don't show the cost. They don't show the marriages strained by late-night calls, the birthdays missed, the way he flinched at ordinary sounds because his brain never fully left the crime scenes. At the midpoint of his career, he confessed something privately to a colleague. He no longer dreamed about his own life, only about other people's deaths. That was the reversal. The moment he realized the job wasn't just changing him, it was consuming him. Yet he kept going, because walking away would mean letting the dead down, and he couldn't live with that either. One of his final major cases involved a killer who wanted to be caught. Left clues, toyed with the investigation. It was the most dangerous kind of criminal, not reckless, but confident. The detective slowed everything down, ignored the pressure, waited, and when the trap finally closed, the killer said something that never left him. "You know why you caught me?" the man said. "Because you think like me." That sentence echoed longer than any verdict. When he retired, the silence was unbearable. No radio calls, no files, no unfinished questions demanding answers, just memories. He had solved more murders than almost anyone alive, but the ones that haunted him weren't the failures. They were the ones that showed him what humans are capable of becoming on both sides of the table. Because to understand a monster, you have to step close enough to feel its breath, and sometimes it changes the shape of you. The emotional truth he learned too late was simple. You can spend your life chasing darkness, but it always leaves fingerprints on the one holding the light. So here's the question that never stopped following him. How much of yourself can you give to stopping evil before it costs you who you are?